Hi everyone, I'm Satomi and I offer hands-on bread making classes in Tokyo. Today I'll show you how to make sweet potato and black sesame shokupan. Let's get started. First, adjust the temperature of the milk. Our goal is to keep the final dough temperature around 26 to 28 degrees. This is because yeast works best in this temperature range and it helps the dough rise properly. It also makes it easier to predict the proofing time in the next step. Please check the description below for more details about liquid temperature and adjust it as needed based on your kitchen conditions. Butter should be left at room temperature to soften, so it mixes into the dough smoothly. Now prepare the black sesame. Coat the black sesame seeds with a small amount of oil. This prevents them from absorbing the dough's moisture and keeps the bread texture nice and fluffy. Next, the sweet potato. Slice the sweet potato into 1 cm thick rounds. Soak them in water for 10 minutes to remove excess starch. Drain the water and place the slices into a pot. Add enough water to just cover them along with sugar. Simmer on medium-low heat for about 10 minutes or until a skewer goes through easily and the water has mostly evaporated. Make sure to flip the sweet potatoes halfway through. As the water reduces, be careful not to burn the sweet potatoes. You can add more water if needed. Once they are nicely glazed, transfer them to a tray to cool. After they have cooled, cut them into 1 cm cubes and set aside. Now let's put all the dry ingredients into the bowl of a stand mixer. Use bread flour with a protein content of 12 to 13%. High protein helps build strong gluten and trap gas from the yeast, so the dough expands nicely and has a soft, fluffy texture. Add the sugar. I'm using cane sugar because I usually use it for cooking, but you can also use granulated sugar instead. Then salt. You can just add next to the sugar. And the last dry ingredient, instant dry yeast. Once you add all dry ingredients in a bowl, mix them first with a spatula so each ingredient absorbs water equally. Then add the milk. I usually mix by hand first to bring the ingredients together before using the stand mixer. If you start kneading right away without mixing, it takes longer for the dough to come together. Set the bowl on the stand mixer with the dough hook attached. Start mixing on low speed for 1 to 2 minutes until no dry bits remain. Then knead on medium speed for about 10 minutes. If you use a KitchenAid, level 2 is low and level 4 is medium. Scrape down the sides if the dough sticks to the bowl. At the beginning of kneading, the dough often sticks to the bottom of the bowl. This is usually because the gluten hasn't developed yet. If you add extra flour at this stage, it may become too stiff once the gluten fully develops, which can result in dense or tough bread. As long as it's not sticking to a large area of the bowl size, the hydration is fine. It's been 10 minutes. The dough has come together. The dough stretches but tears easily. This indicates that the gluten is developing but hasn't fully formed yet. Now we add the softened butter. Butter is added at this stage because to make fluffy shokupan, we need to develop strong gluten first. Fats like butter can interfere with gluten formation, so they are usually added after the gluten has begun to form and the dough has come together. Continue kneading on medium speed for about 10 to 12 minutes until the dough is smooth and elastic. Scrape the butter from the sides if needed. Once you finish kneading, do a window pane test. Stretch a piece of dough between your fingers. If it becomes thin and almost transparent without tearing, it's ready. If it tears easily, knead for 5 more minutes or so. It's time to add the black sesame seeds. Knead on low speed for 1 to 2 minutes until the sesame seeds are evenly incorporated. Remove it from the stand mixer bowl and do the slam and fold method. Lift the dough from one side and gently slam it onto the work surface, making sure to stretch it as you go. After slamming, fold the dough over itself. We do this to strengthen the gluten and reduce thickness. There's one thing to be careful. It's better not to hold the dough with your thumb tip as it may damage the dough. Instead, use the base of your thumb to hold it. Repeat the slam and fold method about 30 times. Now it's time for proofing. Shape the dough into a tight ball. This is how I usually shape it into a nice ball. Gently drag it toward yourself with both hands. This helps the sides of the dough tuck underneath and create surface tension. Check the dough temperature at this point. If it's around 26 to 28 degrees, it's perfect. If it's lower, the rising will take longer. If it's higher, the dough will rise faster, so please keep eye on it. This time, the dough temperature was over 28 degrees, so I set the pulver a bit lower at around 30 degrees to slow down the fermentation. Place the dough into a bowl. Cover it with a damp towel and let it rise in one place until it's more than doubled in size. Now the dough has risen. It took 45 minutes with a dough temperature of 29 degrees and a pulver set to 30 degrees. Your dough may proof faster or slower. It really depends on the conditions, so watch your dough carefully. To check if the dough has proofed properly, lightly dust the center of the dough with the flour and gently press a finger into the center of the dough. If the dent stays and you see bubbles on the surface, it's ready. If it springs back, let it proof a bit more time. Lightly sprinkle some flour on the surface if it's sticky and gently press the dough to release the gas. Take the dough out of the bowl. This is the top surface, and from now on, we want to keep this side on the outside while shaping the dough. This helps create surface tension and gives the bread a nice creamy finish after baking. Flatten the dough with your palm and again shape it into a tight ball. Flip the dough over and fold the dough 3 times, keeping the surface on the outside. Then gently bring the dough toward you as you rotate it. Make sure to keep the spot where you pressed with your finger as the center. Cover the dough with a bowl and let it rest for about 20 minutes. Meanwhile, graze your loaf pan with butter or spray oil. After resting, the dough has softened. So let's move on to shaping. Place the dough seam side down and flatten the dough to release the gas. Flip the dough over and shape it roughly into a rectangle. Make sure the width is much narrower than the loaf pan as it will spread out when rolled. Using a rolling pin, roll the dough into a long vertical rectangle. Stop the rolling pin slightly before reaching the top and bottom edges. The dough will naturally gather in those areas. Then roll from side to side to shape it into a neat rectangle. The dough should be an even thickness and slightly narrower than the loaf pan. Evenly scatter the prepared sweet potatoes over the entire surface, making sure to distribute them all the way to the side edges. From the top, roll the dough up, creating the surface tension. Be gentle, not too tight, otherwise the dough may tear during the second proofing. Pinch the seam tightly to seal. Also close the both sides. Then place the dough seam side down into the loaf pan. Cover the pan with plastic wrap or a shower cap and let it rise until the dough expands and fills the pan. Meanwhile, cut the butter into thin strips for topping and keep them in the fridge until ready to use. Don't forget to preheat your oven to 180 degrees before baking. Now dough has risen nicely. Using a lamb or a sharp knife, score a line across the center of the surface. Sprinkle some water on the surface, then place the thin stick of butter along the score. This helps the cut open up and promotes a good oven spring. Place the loaf pan into the oven and bake for 30 to 35 minutes until golden brown. If your oven has racks, place the pan on the middle one. Every oven bakes differently, so if your bread looks like it might burn, you can cover it with aluminum foil. After baking, tap the pan to release steam. Take out the bread and cool it on a cooling rack. Once the bread has completely cooled, use a bread knife to make a cut from the bottom corner and slice the loaf. This way, you can make a clean and neat cut. This sweet potato and black sesame shokupan is really nice on its own, but I recommend toasting it and adding some butter or honey on top. It's really good, so you can try it out. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this sweet potato and black sesame shokupan recipe. If you want to try more shokupan ideas, check out my other videos too. See you in the next video. Happy baking!